Today's project is to fix our bathroom fan. Over the last 6 months, it's been wigging out. It's possessed, so it's time to change it. Here's all the pieces. We got a brand new MaxxAir Fan RV ventilator with a smoked lid. It's a direct replacement for a 14-inch square fan opening. We've got our cord weather strip that we're going to put underneath the flange. And we've got a couple tubes of self-leveling white sealant to put around the perimeter once it's all in. I think the hardest part about this project is going to be getting the old one off. So let's see how we can remove it easily. Okay, first I've removed the fan so we can get to some of these screws to take this little cover piece off so we can disconnect it from power. No, off. I want to come off. And don't lose the screws. I think this motor here has gone bad, or this piece of electronics. That's why it's jittery. So right here's the power coming in. All we got to do is separate it. Oh, that was easy. And I think there's another power. Let's see if we can disconnect. Might have to cut that tie wrap. Try to clip the tie wrap. Without cutting the wire. There we go. So that's unplugged from the power from the wall, I believe. And this all should come straight out from the top. But I'll take this valance off too. So this valance trim piece uses a square bit, and darn near everything in an RV uses square, so you better have a couple of these handy. And that's what you use to remove most all of the screws. So we'll try to reuse this trim piece. I'll probably put new screws in. Look at all that dust. I'm gonna go outside. I think that's it for down here. We got to go up onto the roof now and take it all apart from up there, and I think it goes out that way. Look at all this stuff when it was built. Crazy, they don't take a vacuum to it. I'll have to take a vacuum to it before the new one goes in. We're up here on the roof. Got a few tools. We'll see how it goes. I'll probably need a few more. So here's this top rain vent cover piece, and it's got 4 screws right here that we'll take out with a Phillips. So we'll get this piece off, and then we'll actually see what we got to see. I'm ready to lift. 3, 2, 1. There's more electricals. That's why it was still making noise, because we got an electrical connector over here. Huh.
You got it?
Yeah, I got it.
You got it for that side?
Mm-hmm. There's those. Oh, this is a this is a different device. Time out. I gotta rethink what we're doing here. Time out. These two items here are completely different. This is a MaxxAir, I guess it's called a Max Fan, perhaps. It has a separate cover that goes and completely closes or completely opens, but it's absolutely rainproof. So this was a different housing. It's a completely different piece of plastic that I just pulled out compared to the new one, which is just a regular old fan with a regular lid, but it has rainproof technology in there. So if it senses moisture on the outside, it'll close somehow. And I'm not sure how it senses moisture to close versus, you know, shower moisture on the inside. So we'll have to see, you know, maybe that's what was wrong with this one, is the sensor was sensing moisture and then closing. I don't know. I think it was just old and got wet too many times from too many showers. But we'll see. Next step here is to go find the power and actually turn it off so I can hook this one up. But we'll kind of get everything back upstairs there on top of the RV and get ready to glue and screw. I just pulled this fuse. It's the number 2 fuse in my rig that goes to all the fans. And I had this fan working, and now it is not. So I'm pretty sure that the electrical 12 volt is off on these wires here, so I can cut them and be safe. Ooh, I'm gonna need wire connectors too. Okay, we're back up on the roof. I've got to take this goo off somehow and get this flange out so I can put the new one in, because it's completely different than the old one. And they are all square screws. So we're gonna try to get the screws out, and then we'll try to just pry this thing up. So I don't know how many screws they got. I've got a couple devices here to get in there and see if there's a screw underneath there. There is. There's probably one in this corner. And then let me get the screws out and we'll work on the next step. There's the last of the screws. Now let's see if we can unstick it and lift it out. Goodness. Whew. There it is. Out. Now I have to get all this gooey stuff off so I can put some new gooey stuff down. That's the next step, cleaning it up. I've got a fiberglass roof here, so I don't have to worry too much about poking a hole in it with a scraper or something. But we'll be as careful as we can. There's one. So this mounting method here, inside of these grooves, we put this clay kind of stuff, weather stripping, because it stays soft. And that's what all this stuff here is. It's still soft from when they put it in 7 years ago. And then after we install it with all the screws, that clay will squish into these grooves and really be a good seal. And then this white stuff that we put on over the top of all the screws and around the edge is kind of a secondary seal. So let's get applying the soft clay stuff, and then we'll stick it down. There, we got the clay stuff stuck in all the way around. So now this is going to go in this way. So I gotta figure out where the electrical is gotta get stuffed. I think we gotta stuff it back in here. It's gonna go hinge forward. Is that electrical? Can I stuff the electrical in? Is there a gap there I can stuff the electrical in?
Probably. Yeah.
I can't see nothing, see? Well, here's the installation on this side. And this is what I was asking, if we can get these wires stuffed in here. Now it's time to screw it down. Where are we here? So all these little dots, I don't know if you can see them, but that's where the screws are going. He gave me a fresh bag of screws. These aren't square, these are Phillips. I need to put my Phillips extension on. And I hope these aren't in the same holes as the previous one. There we are. What are we on, 11? Before we goo it, let's make sure it works. Gotta learn how to use the remote, I guess. Fan on off. How about that button? That's going in. We want it to go the other way. There it goes the other way. Well, there you go. We did a power test and it works perfectly. Even the old remote works. So it's time to goo it down. I'm not sure I like this goo. I think it's been at the Walmart store for a while. It's not flowing very good. But see, this stuff here is flowing just a little bit, so maybe it will eventually. I think that's it for this project. We have a new fan installed. It doesn't have one of those fancy shrouds like the other one does, but I do believe these little hooks here allow you to buy an aftermarket, something that goes over it. So I don't know, we'll see. One of these days maybe we'll put that on. But anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you learned something. I certainly did. And we'll see you the next time we got a weird project to do on this here camper. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.